Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Abrazo Football Podcast. You got Brooks and myself, Blaine. We are now days away from the 2022 World Cup finals and consolation game, which we played against the Croatians and the Moroccans. Very exciting stuff. So let's just get straight into it. So first things first, we all know Brooks has been supporting Argentina his entire life because he's blood. Did you see Argentina making it to the final this World Cup? Did you believe they could really do it?
Yes. I think that I did. Let's not act like I foresaw the future. I say that Argentina will make to the final every year, except maybe last year. That was our 2018 because they were all sorts of a mess. Messi retired, came back with a few games left. They say for a hat trick from him. They were a hat trick from him away from not making it to the World Cup. Jorge Sampaoli was a mess. Everything was a mess. Um, so that was a little bit, but yeah, I did. I mean, they look amazing. This is like kind of written in the stars for Messi. I think that like everything is pointing to him winning this World Cup. So yeah, I mean, I even have a text. My boy, whoa, you good?
Yeah, man, just a little dust.
My boy, who's a huge Ronaldo fan, huge Portugal fan, he texted me and he was like, putting in some bets. I don't bet, but he was like, "Who do you think can win the final?" And I was like, "Argentina." So yeah, from day one, I've been going with the Argentina pick.
Well, your pick is right. They're squaring off against a Kylian Mbappe led France. I saw a weird stat. They said both Messi and Mbappe are both on 5 goals, and
Yeah.
I think 3 assists.
So two assists for Messi, two assists for Mbappe, three assists for Messi. Yeah.
Okay. So would that mean Messi would win the Golden Boot because of
Yeah.
their
If yeah.
dang. This is
It
a pretty oh go.
No, I was gonna say if Mbappe doesn't score again, if it holds out how it is right now, then
Hmm.
yeah, it will go to Messi. So
That's crazy. So what do you see happening? Does Argentina have what it takes to win a final? Is this
yes.
they doing it? Is this the
They
year?
definitely have what it takes. So I keep telling myself it's the year, and I'm trying to kind of ride this like positive energy through to the
Uh huh.
final, and put it out there in the atmosphere that this is Argentina Messi's year specifically. I think that it belongs to him. I think that the entire team kind of feels like, yo, this is it. Like this is it. We got to do this not only for the country and for us, but for Messi.
Yeah.
Um, I never seen Messi play like this. Like obviously he's incredible, but I mean ever since he even went to PSG, like in his contract, the stipulations were like, hey, I need you to know that like I'm gonna Gareth Bale it here. Number one though is Argentina. PSG comes after. So like if I need to piece out early for this Argentina squad or like whatever, they're coming number one. So yeah, it just all feels like everything is kind of swinging in the right direction. I do think that I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like France in the group stage, specifically Mbappe, was like terrifyingly good. I don't know. I've not been like as impressed in the last few knockout rounds games. He had that kind of accidental shot turned into assist, which is great. But so that kind of worries me because I'm like he's been kind of pretty silent. Like Kyle Walker kept him pretty much in check. He didn't really do a ton against Morocco. So I'm like either this is a good sign or he's about to blow up and it's all going to come crashing down on Argentina, similar to 2018. But yeah, so because they don't think I think you even agreed like England kind of outplayed them. France got a bit lucky. Morocco did look amazing. They had a ton of chances. It just
Yeah.
again like it for as good as Morocco played, it kind of still felt like France was never really bothered, especially when you score a goal in like the fourth or fifth minute. But
Listen, I'll go as far as to say this. I feel like France just might be the underdog in this final, based off of
really,
based off of the way the tournament's gone. Based off a tournament, yeah. I mean, I think Argentina's the clear favorite here. Like they lost one early, bounced
yeah,
back, and they've been running ever since. I mean, they've won all their games pretty convincingly.
yeah,
They at least beat Croatia extremely convincingly. Maybe they might have
yeah,
struggled with Mexico, if not for two wonder goals. Who did they play in their round of 16? Was it Korea? South? No. Who? No. Who is their
Poland.
round of 16? Oh, brushed them off. So yeah, uh,
Yeah, that
that was,
Mexico game was the turning point, wasn't it? You're right.
yeah, that was the one where they had to dig in, and like since then, like no one has really been an issue. So I would say that, and I feel like they got like for example, if there's a favorite, everyone wants Argentina to win.
Yeah.
Everyone wants Messi to win. So I would almost say the underdogs. These are the underdogs. The you know what I mean. So I mean I don't know who's going to win. If I had to put money on it, I'm putting my money on Argentina.
Really? Okay. And you said that last week, and it was true. Like you predicted Argentina,
Yeah,
and they won.
I just that's where I'm putting my money. I mean,
Okay.
if you look at the France side, I mean, you know, last game they made some mistakes. Some key players were out because they were sick. Are those players going to be sick on Sunday? If they're
Yeah.
not sick on Sunday, it could be a benefit. But at the same time, if you're a professional athlete, and you haven't played since Tuesday, from Tuesday to Sunday or Wednesday to Sunday, it's essentially that's
Yeah.
you're 100% recovered. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm thinking Argentina's gonna win the game 2-0. That's my prediction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't care what it is as long as Argentina come out on top. I don't want it to go to penalties. I don't think that my heart could like take that. Like I'm obviously already like shaking and palms sweating just talking about it. So I
Yeah.
hope that it's like a 2-0, 3-0 Argentina. But so do you think that Kylian Mbappe will show up in the final?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, right. Because the one thing that Argentina doesn't have ever is speed. Like quickness, okay, but no speed. So this France side kind of everywhere it has speed. That's what worries me a little bit, but I don't know. They've
Yeah.
they've dealt with everyone so far, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I think he'll show up. I definitely think he'll show up. But I think when when one team is you know doing it, trying to go back to back, and another team is trying to win for the first time in decades, and for the
Yeah.
first time for this generation and the generation before it and after it, I feel like there's a lot more on the line. So I mean, and typically, I feel like that could be a benefit and not a detriment, but at the same time, they could psych themselves out so much to where they overthink things and make bad plays and get carded early. And
Yeah.
so I mean, obviously, it's I'm glad that I'm just a spectator for this one. This would be it. I don't know what it feels like. I only knew what it felt like when England made it to the Euros final,
Yeah.
and that ruined my whole summer. So I don't even know. To have a World Cup final before Christmas. you know,
Yeah, seriously. 2 days
you know.
before my wife's birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, just when England lost, man, I was in shambles. I was mad. I was snapping at people. Can't work today. I'm sick. So for your sake, you know, I hope to win. And my boss is French, but he doesn't care about football,
Oh,
so he won't be in a bad mood if France loses. So
okay.
it's I feel like I hope Argentina can win for your sake.
Thank you.
You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see, I'll wear the shirt. Get
Thank
some
you.
bad karma going one way. Yeah, I got a couple Argentina kids in the closet too, though. I might throw one of those, or you never know.
No, no,
You
no,
might
no.
you,
Sure, sure, sure.
you, you break
So,
break the curse. You know what I mean?
so that's true. If he could break the curse, that would be actually very helpful. But one thing that I also wanted to bring up was you brought up how Rabiot was sick, right?
That's what they said, right?
Because that's why he didn't play against Morocco.
Morocco,
Um,
Morocco.
because I was like there. I was like France's midfield is kind of. I was kind of shocked by how not great their midfield. Aside from Antoine Griezmann, who ran the whole show, like I was like, oh, their midfield's kind of being taken over right now, but I forgot
Yeah,
that there was
huge
no
drop
Rabiot on
off
that side.
between Fofana replacing Rabiot. There's like
Yeah,
the difference was night and day.
yeah, it was. But anyway, so that's my prediction: Argentina to win it. I mean, I really that's my prayer. That's my prediction. That's my hope. That's everything right now.
This is the whole life. All right, well, I guess here in another 3 days, no, 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, we'll see. So
Yeah.
and then we'll check back after the World Cup final if
Yes.
if circumstances allow for it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there's not a show Sunday or Monday, like, but yeah, then
yeah. You'll know
something's
why.
not right. Yeah. But talk about the third place final. Who do you think's going to win the third place?
I'd like to see Morocco do it.
Okay.
I hope Morocco does it. It'd be cool if Morocco did it. I will be cheering for Morocco. I mean, I feel like Croatia they did good, and I respect them, and I'll always respect them. But it's a consolation game. If anyone
Yeah.
deserves a consolation, I think it would be Morocco. Just
Same.
for I mean, in like Croatia, you could the same argument could be made for Croatia, like small European country. But
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got runner up of the tournament last time, so no one's really rooting for you like that. In terms of like an underdog and a feel good story, like we need a different feel good story this year. And Morocco could secure third. I'd be ecstatic. What about you?
I think so. I mean, I want Morocco to win it as well. I also don't know. Do you think that most of those guys are staying for the third place game, or do you think that some of them have already kind of gone back to Madrid or gone back to, I guess, just to Europe or something, back to their clubs, or do you think that they're mostly staying to try to win this third place?
I think I would say definitely all the Moroccans have stayed, and they will be
Yeah.
playing this
Yeah. Okay.
third game like it's a final.
Yeah.
I mean, Croatia, on the other hand, I feel like this is kind of like a throw. If I were them, this would feel like a throwaway game. Like you got like older players on Croatia that play for big
Yeah.
European clubs. It's like, are we gonna really risk it for a game that I mean, basically means nothing. Like no one legitimately cares. It's more of a stat. Like oh yeah, like
Yeah.
Croatia finished top four, but you already finished top two. So it's like you're not really going to risk your health or your
Right.
last season or potentially last season over setting a record for something that you've already broken. It's like we've already made it higher, so why risk
Yeah.
it? Like the tournament, like we can't go any higher than fourth or third, so why risk it? That's my thought though.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I kind of think that Croatia will win it, but I guess if let's say like Luka Modric and Perisic, like maybe they go back to their clubs or whatever, Guardiola, whatever. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a different story, but I hope Morocco wins it. But
Yeah,
we'll see. I want Morocco.
for
I
sure.
want Hakimi to bring a trophy to the African continent, to the country of
Yeah,
Morocco.
yeah,
Yeah, it'd be
man.
cool. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, shout out Hakeem Ziyech too.
Yeah, yeah,
Captain.
definitely. Yeah, that dude needs like now. Chelsea hopefully they can see what they're missing out on when they're not playing him. But
They
we already
won't.
talked about
They
that.
won't. They won't. Let him go to AC Milan. You know.
Or just jump over to Arsenal. Like I know he's an Arsenal fan.
Oh, is he
He could
really? I
use an
didn't realize.
extra. When he was still at Ajax, they were how Ajax is kind of like the Dortmund of
Oh yeah.
the Netherlands. They were like, what club would you like to be playing for in the future? And he said on the camera, he said Arsenal. So he was like, I like how they play. This was like Arsene Wenger days though. This was like probably like 5 years ago.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But he's not. I mean, he's not going to Arsenal.
yeah, he's not. Nah, he's too old for Arsenal.
Yeah. All right. So I have a question for you before we wrap up. As everybody knows, Argentina's in the final again. This is Messi's second final in a World Cup, and obviously, like what everyone talks about right now, at least currently, the last couple of years have been like who's better, Messi or Ronaldo, and like who's the GOAT, Messi or Ronaldo. Um, Everyone kind of seems to agree that all time is like Maradona or Pele. So I just wanted to ask you, like, now that Messi's in his second World Cup final, he just won a Copa. Um, a lot of like the media and like sports analysts are saying, okay, like Messi's or Ronaldo's now out of the question. Now it's not who's better, Messi or Ronaldo. Now it's like, is Messi better than the Pelés and the Maradonas? So I just wanted to get your thought on that. Obviously, he's had a great tournament, but it doesn't, come down to one tournament. But so I just wanted to get your thoughts because I have my thoughts.
So yeah, okay. So to reiterate, at present time, December 16th, 2022, who is a better player, Cristiano
Yeah,
Ronaldo
all
or
time.
Messi?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, all time?
Sorry, the between the two of them, not just the tournament, but like, yeah, who's better
Well,
between the two of them?
I would say this
If you had to give someone
season.
like the GOAT status,
I mean,
it's not fair to say this season either because Ronaldo's kind of been given the shaft by United the
well,
first half of the season.
I was gonna say, if we're asking, like, for example, if I'm picking a team of players today, who would
Hmm.
I pick, Ronaldo or
Okay,
Messi, based on who's better today? Obviously,
today,
I would pick Messi.
yeah,
Yeah, he's better. I mean, he's better right now. Now, if we're saying, like,
all
if
time.
we're all time, I mean, I, I'm still, for me, I'm still going with Ronaldo. I would say, a poor, let's just say a poor, well, not even, I mean, last season technically wasn't poor, but, to have a poor season in 2022, 2023, I mean, unless it gets better, but also there's a chance he goes to Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, eh, doesn't make a, that's a bad season. If you're going to South Arabia or Saudi Arabia, that's a bad season. But overall accomplishments, I mean, I
You mean
still, I
trophies?
still, I mean, it's I feel
Like
like
club level?
I mean, you could say club level. I'm not necessarily saying, like, oh yeah, like if one player won more trophies because they have more Copa del Rey's, or this or that. I mean, different trophies have a different amount of weight to them. My only argument, and I'm not saying, like, Messi's not a great player, because he obviously is. I mean, he won how many? What, 6 Ballon d'Ors?
Yeah, seven, six.
I thought it was
I
six,
don't.
but
I,
wait, I mean, whatever the number is, no one's won more. No, like, he at least has one more
seven.
Ballon d'Or. Is it 7?
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I mean, the, there's nothing to be said except for that is an amazing achievement.
yeah,
I like, again, I personally still say, for me, at
yeah,
this current state, I think Ronaldo still had a better career. Does that have anything to do with Messi going to a World Cup final? I mean, this is personally how I see it. It's like, if you make it to a World Cup final and you don't put up in the World Cup final, I feel like that almost counts against you. It's like,
yeah,
people look at players and be like, oh yeah, like this player, like, oh yeah, like they made it this far, but then, like, they couldn't finish. So it's like, I feel like it's not really, like, I feel like it's not something you can say, like, oh yeah, like this person made it to the final, so, like, therefore, like, they were, I mean, that's an achievement. I'm not saying it's not, but, like, to
yeah,
win it or to have a goal in it, is one thing. So, I mean, I'm not saying Messi's a bad player. I'm just saying, Ronaldo's older, his career started to go downhill sooner, which makes
yeah,
sense. That's math. But
yeah. By one, yeah, just now though, really, if you think about it,
oh yeah,
you
but I
know,
mean, yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah. Okay, fine.
yeah, like
I was gonna say,
this season to last season, maybe.
yeah. I mean, I guess he was still like scoring goals last season at Man U, but, like,
Yeah,
there was a drop
yeah,
off.
yeah,
But, like, people also thought there was a drop off with Messi. But the only difference is Messi dramatically turned things around from his first season at PSG to
yeah,
his second season at PSG,
yeah,
and he's also, motivated. So, I mean, I'm just saying, for me, you know, I still pick Ronaldo. Um,
hmm,
and because, I mean, there's, like, just certain things, like, for example, and this is all I'm gonna say, then I'll let you say your piece. Like, a guy like Erling Haaland, right? he's
yeah,
he's an amazing player. He will never ever have a legitimate shot. Well, maybe, I mean, shout out to Croatia, but I don't think he'll ever have a legitimate shot of winning a competition with
for his
Norway.
country.
with
Yeah.
Norway. He'll never have an opportunity to do that. But he could have a great club career that spans over different leagues and winning a diverse amount of trophies, and that could define him as a great player. And if by some miracle he happened to win a Euros with Norway, I feel like that almost seems like a bigger accomplishment for a small country that's never really been rated or that can compete against the big ones, versus, like, for example, if Brazil or Argentina win a World Cup. It's like, well, you're a rich footballing nation, like there's a legacy there, there's an expectation. I mean, you could debate whether or not the teams are good enough, but I mean, by by evidence, I mean, two World Cup finals and what, three World Cups?
Yeah.
He
For
went
who?
Argentina, right?
Messi?
Because yeah, well, I guess yeah,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
say
Okay.
because like he went 14, missed 18, went 22.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, that's just like like it's just like no one would say that Argentina isn't a fantastic national team. The
Yeah.
same can't technically be said about Portugal. Like Portugal wins, and it's kind of like no one could have ever, like, Portugal winning is almost like the same thing as Greece winning when they won in 2004. It's like no one could have expected this. But I mean, I feel like I've talked enough. I know you probably don't want to hear that answer, and I know you're probably got something to say why you think Messi is better, and I'd like to hear that, and I accept that, because
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I,
go.
yeah, I mean, it's funny just because like a lot of Peter Crouch said this, and I don't necessarily like. I'm not saying that I agree, but he recently he was like, I feel like if you pick Ronaldo, you don't know football. I was like, oh shoot, he just went in on people picking Ronaldo, but to that extent, like I kind of understand what he's saying. Like I think that for all around footballer, as far as like I don't know, we're still seeing this in his 35 years old, like taking on 1v1, not with quickness, but with like brains and like skill at his feet, close control, taking people out and scoring still, but assisting. Like all these things, I think are like for me. We've talked about this before. Like I think he's more complete. I think Ronaldo is more complete scoring. Obviously, he's like 6'2". Messi's like 5'6". So obviously he's going to be better with his head in the
Yeah.
air. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Ronaldo can leap out the stadium. Messi can barely leap. So
Yeah.
for all of like physically, yeah, there's no question that Ronaldo is maybe Erling Haaland would be the next like closest thing or something. But I think that all around like skill level, I don't think that I mean anyone is better than Messi as far as that goes. And it's funny, like you brought up like Ballon d'Or, like you don't really rate that as like being better than not. Messi has 7, Ronaldo has 5. And even the only, I think I could be wrong, but I think the only stat that Ronaldo, I mean, if we're not talking about trophies, Ballon d'Ors, or like Champions Leagues or La Ligas or whatever, if it's just stats, I think the only statistic that Ronaldo does have over Messi are goals, with him having played, I think, like 150-ish more games
Yeah.
than Messi. But I just think it's also because they're not the same player. Like not only physically, but they're positionally. Like you can't put Messi in the top and just sit him there waiting for balls to come in, just as you can't really put Ronaldo back to drop back deep and bring the play forward. It's just kind of
Yeah.
different,
Well,
It's just
well,
different. But for me, I would still choose Messi,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, which is totally fine. Yeah, and I think another way to look at it is, like, for example, there's a player, for example, named Frank Lampard, right?
Okay.
He was an amazing midfielder. He could defend, he could pass, he could score goals. I think he's like in the top 5 of most goals scored in the Premier League, which I mean also because he played his entire career, besides like
Mm-hmm.
1 year in New York, in the Premier League for two of the
And
best
a
teams.
little Man City.
That's what I was saying. Two of the yeah, he
Yeah,
played
yeah,
for two
yeah.
of the best teams. Um, so it's like he was an amazing midfielder. Now, is that a more valuable skill set than, say, for example, his counterpart at the club, Didier Drogba, who
Right.
only stepped in to score important goals? So it's like, which of those players is a better footballer? well, I think you would have, and I'm using two players that I like personally.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like you might have to say Frank Lampard's a better footballer if we're saying like, well, technique, like
yeah,
ball
yeah.
handling, range of pass. Like he has more technical abilities that translate to like being able to help his team and facilitate play. But then it's like, okay, but who finishes the shots? Who's scoring
Right.
goals when they matter and like cementing in the trophy sets? It's like, well, they're two different roles. Which role do you value more? And I guess to what Peter Crouch said, if you know football, a purist would say, yeah, obviously the attacking midfielder that's getting goals, assist, and defending is definitely more valuable and a better player than the guy that sits in the box and can just put a ball
Coaches them.
three
Yeah.
degrees one way or another way and finish them off.
Which is not
So
easy to do still, especially when you are playing against Premier League teams, or when those balls are coming in and you don't really know where they're coming from. Or Drogba could do it with everything too, left, right, head, and that's not an easy thing to be able to accomplish in the Premier League for Chelsea at that club that's been performing and performing and performing.
it's not, but I would concede, yeah, like on a technical level, you would say if there's a better player skill wise, the skill I feel like always goes to the midfielder because the midfielder technically
Yeah,
does more and, and,
yeah,
and contributes like to more phases of the game. Like they typically they'll play in transition. They can defend and they can attack. So, I mean,
yeah.
he's not wrong, but it's like not everybody values the
Exactly.
same
Yeah, you're right.
you know the same I guess strengths. It's like
Yeah,
some people just like the guy that's in the box scoring goals. Someone else would say to them
right,
their best player could potentially be uh, let's just think of a Virgil van Dijk, for example, because he's such
right.
an elegant, graceful defender, and they're like, he's the well, I guess he couldn't be a candidate for like best ever, but like if we're thinking like all time great center backs, like for example, like Rio Ferdinand, John Terry,
Right, yeah.
Charles Puyol, like guys like that, Maldini, guys like that. It's like these guys, their defense
Cannavaro, yeah.
alone. Yeah, these guys alone won trophies and championships because
Right.
they were brick walls,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
their goalkeepers essentially Nemanja Vidic didn't have to do anything at all. Like
Right.
so I mean, I feel like that's why. I mean, I feel like it's an argument or it's a conversation that will never actually
Yeah,
have
yeah, never.
a
Yeah.
right answer because there's no algorithm that you can put a player and their stats into and then like
Yeah.
objectively compare those versus what their opposition was because
Yeah.
there'll be the arguments like people and I don't like the people be like, oh yeah, like Messi, like he played in Spain most of his career and like the
Right.
Premier League is more competitive than Spain, blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, I mean, we don't know if that's necessarily like no one can. I mean, you could say that, but no one couldn't really know because it's all relative. Like you got
Yeah.
players that come out of La Liga that are the best players in the world. I mean, we're talking about two of them right now, and they made their careers in La Liga.
Yeah.
Maybe they would come over and kill the Premier League, and it's like, but it's also like there's a team behind them, like that. That's their
Yeah.
like that. That's a specific team. So you can't just take a player out of a team and put them in another team. I guess Erling Haaland, or sometimes you can, but it's like there's going to be different results. There's different, like it's just everything's. It's not
Yeah.
like for like, is what I'm saying. But you know,
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point,
and
I mean,
that's why
one of the best. Good.
no, that's it.
I was just gonna say to your point, like one of the best midfielders in the Premier League era came out of Spain, I think, in Cesc,
So yes, that's Fabregas. Yeah,
and couldn't hang at Barcelona, at a Barcelona squad that was winning Champions Leagues, you know. But it's just different. It's a different. I think that we can all agree that the Premier League is a faster pace of football. Is it better? I don't know if it's necessarily better, but it's just a different. And I think that to your point of like Ronaldo's done it in Spain, um, Italy, England, and I guess Portugal, we could say like that's an impressive career stat. So like if you want to look at career wise, okay, cool. Like yeah, I can agree that Ronaldo did it in multiple countries. Um, that's cool, you know. But I
but
don't
it's
think
not
that,
like
like you said, doesn't make or break someone.
it doesn't make because it's like if Messi went to the Premier League, let's just be honest, he's only going to the team that is going to win. I
Yeah.
mean, like look at it this way. He
Like
start
Ronaldo
like
did with Madrid, like Ronaldo did with Juventus, like Ronaldo did Manchester United. Those had the best back line that I've seen in Premier League football. You
well, I
know,
was gonna, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It's like, I mean, Messi started his career at, let's say, a top three club in the world,
ever to play.
non-negotiable.
Yeah,
Ronaldo started his career at Sporting Lisbon,
yeah,
but then played well enough to get a move to a top three club in the world. From that
yeah.
point, neither player will ever neither player will ever consider going to a team that
No,
isn't a contender. Like
no. Why would you don't need
if
to?
yeah, it's like if Messi, when he was considering leaving Barcelona, like I'm only going to Man City or PSG. Like I'm only
Right.
going to teams where they have the best players to get the best of me. Same with Ronaldo. I'm leaving Man U. Where
Yeah,
am I going to go? Real Madrid. I leave Real Madrid. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to Juventus. I leave Juventus. Okay, he took a risk going back to Manchester United.
yeah. They
That was
finished second the
disastrous.
year before, though, right?
No clue. No
Okay.
clue. No clue.
But yeah, no,
I
you're
mean,
right. I mean, definitely a risk. Probably not the greatest risk, but that happens. That's a risk, you know. And it doesn't. I
it,
don't think it tarnishes his legacy. I don't think that one season does anything to his like legacy. You know,
yeah.
I don't buy into that.
No. Yeah.
He still had a great season.
Yeah, well, what I was saying was more so that players of a certain caliber. If you're a like a Ballon d'Or shortlist player, you're not accepting a transfer to a club that isn't
Yeah,
in contention or a current like Messi's not gonna go play for West Ham. He's not gonna go. He's not even gonna go play for Chelsea at this point. Like if he were to
no,
go to
no,
the
no,
Premier
no.
League, he's only playing for Liverpool or
Yeah,
Manchester City. It's a coin flip who's
yeah,
gonna win. So I mean the point I'm making is if he had have gone to another league, he would have succeeded. Like it's not even a
yeah,
question. I
yeah.
guess it could be objectively it could be a question, but it's like if David Silva can go to Man City and thrive, Messi could go to Man City and thrive.
Yeah.
There's not really, a debate there. It's just, one
Yeah.
didn't want to leave, the other did. So what?
Yeah, and we talked about this last week too. I was just like, you know, every time he's come up against a Premier League team in the Champions League, like he's essentially destroyed them from, you know, 2008 Champions League to till I don't know now. But I also think that he was scared to learn. He just didn't. I don't know many South Americans, specifically Argentines, that speak English and that comfortably speak English. I mean, Kuhn even
Okay.
talks about that. He's like, "Yo, this sucks. Like, I don't like this." So I think that for that reason, it might be a little bit more normal for like Spanish to go to the Premier League because they learn it in school and they're better at speaking English. But
Yeah.
I do think that that's something to do with it. That's why you don't see a ton of, you know,
Yeah.
South Americans, probably Argentina specifically there. I don't think
Yeah.
Carlos Tevez still speaks it. He's like, "No, I'm good." You want to talk to me in Spanish.
Yeah. Carlos Tevez is the GOAT, man. He's the real. That's
Yeah,
the who we should
yeah,
really
he
be talking
really
about. Yo,
is.
Carlos Tevez is the GOAT. He played for Juventus, Manchester City, and Manchester United.
And West
Yo,
Ham.
that's right. That's right. Carlos Tevez, he go wherever the check clear. Are you on my
Although I will
services?
say, Pablo Zavaleta does speak English really well, and he's played
Yeah,
for
he's a
also West Ham
commentator for
and City.
ESPN.
Yeah, he's
That's true.
good. He's really
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
he always out
yeah.
there making excuses. I like
You're-
Pablo though. He's
I
cool.
do
Pablo's
too.
cool, man. He's a little crazy though, but
Yeah,
yeah. So
he loves City.
he's a hero in City, man.
Yeah,
I had a friend that was a City fan. His screensaver for like years was
no
Pablo
way.
Zabaleta when he scored that header and he was sliding, kissing the badge, and I was like, "And you got this man on your phone?"
That's
He's
so
like, "He's a
funny.
hero. This man's a hero. This man's a hero."
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, that's it then. That's
That
it.
was, I think so. I mean,
Civil conversation. All right.
civil conversation. I mean, because there's no right or wrong answer. People want to talk about it. I feel like it's marketing. It's like, I mean, this might make you mad. I feel like marketing is like the number one reason Michael Jordan is considered like obviously he's done amazing things, but Nike really know how to like market that guy, and they did it so well too. But no, he's incredible. Probably is the best ever. But marketing definitely, I think, has a something. We all want to talk about it. We all want to read stories about it and write stories about it and buy stories about it and buy the shoes. And so
Yeah.
marketing, I think, is cool too.
Well, dude. Okay, so this is my last thought thing because I was actually thinking about
Yeah.
something similar. Like, yeah, like for example, Nike only has enough money. Well, they have more money, but they only will spend enough money to like put one guy out there as like this is the
Right.
guy. Like this is the guy. Same thing. Like for example, like there's only like let's say it in La Liga, there's only two clubs that can have the top dog. You know, so say there's a third guy that is also like the top dog. Well, it's like there's three good strikers, but one of them's Ronaldo, and the other one's let's just say, I mean, I'm trying to think of let's say Luis Suarez at during his run at Men's or at Barcelona. It's like there's another third striker in La Liga. Well, if you go to one of these teams, you're gonna play backup. So stay at like Mallorca and get, also be in the run for the Pichichi, but no one's going to spend money. Like no one's going to put their marketing behind you and say that you're also in contention to be one of the best players because it's like,
Yeah.
we already have a household name and that's what we're going to put our money behind and that will be the perception. That guy won't even get any shine. Like I think it was like was it
Yeah.
Vlahovic before he made his move? It was like he was like I feel like this happens in Italy all the time. Like there's some random European player that's like maybe not from like one of the big European countries that's always doing numbers. And they just kind of like sweep him under the rug. And it's like, yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
good, but like, yo, but this is what about Killian? What about
Right. Right.
uh,
Right.
Erling Haaland? It's like, well, because that's where the marketing dollars are, and it's like,
Yeah.
and then it's like also it's like if a club is gonna buy someone, they're like, you're saying like your guy scored as many goals as Mbappe, but we don't know who he is. So if you think we're gonna pay you as much money for him, so it's like that player won't get the big
Yeah.
transfer. They'll end up going to like a decent team, but not the real team. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Let me ask you one more thing before we go. Also,
Yeah. Yeah.
did you see what was going on with the Brazilian players? I woke up to this tweet.
No.
Richarlison got a tattoo of
Oh
Neymar's
yeah.
face. Yo, and Neymar telling him, bro, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah,
You
but
gotta
it
get that
wasn't.
removed.
Wait, that's well. So hold on, because the tattoo is of Richarlison in the middle, Neymar to the side, and someone else to the side, right?
Yeah,
So
Ronaldo.
it's like a trio of. Oh,
Yes.
that's right, Ronaldo, Richarlison, Neymar. So Neymar's
Yes.
pissed.
He is I mean, I guess I don't
So
know.
what's
I
the
woke up to
why?
it. I woke up to a
Okay.
tweet saying that Neymar is no longer friends with Richarlison and sent him 30K to have his face removed from his back.
No, that's no way that he did that. Are you serious?
Well, I mean, I
That
don't
can't
like
be true. I'm about to look that
I
up right now.
no one's ever tattooed my face. Like I don't know what emotions would go through you if you woke up to see your face tattooed on another man's back. I don't know what that
Yeah,
would
that's
feel
weird.
like. I don't know what that would feel like. You
Well,
know
but
what I'm
also, who
saying?
gets their own face tattooed on their own back?
Yo,
I wouldn't get
a
my
lot of those
face tattooed
Brazilian
on my
players do.
back.
Nah, dude, a lot of like Gabriel Jesus has his whole body tattooed on his body.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He has his whole body tattooed on his back. So, I mean, the Brazilians, yo, obviously the Brazilians, you know, the tattoo culture is a little bit different. So,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's not about having his face on his back. Maybe they had a falling out. I don't know. I mean, it was first thing this morning. I didn't look into it. I just saw the headline. Laughed
yo, I
pretty
see that
hard.
same headline. Neymar sends Richarlison 26,000 pounds to remove his face from his massive Brazil back tattoo.
Yeah.
I just don't think it looks great. Like it's not a great,
It's not a
well
flattering
done.
picture.
Yeah, of any of them, to be honest.
Yo, bro, he don't want that tattoo on his
But
back. I just thought that was hilarious. I mean, I guess we'll find out more, but I
wow.
was just like, it's too like that story keeps giving. First, you see the tattoo, you're like, that's nuts. And then they're like, Neymar don't even want it there and paid him to take it off. He's not taking it off.
He's not taking off, but it's just interesting that he got that in the first place, especially after the exit. Like, bro, you did
Yeah,
have
like
two
what?
incredible goals, but come on, y'all should have at least been in the final.
Yeah, like what are you commemorating with that tattoo? Like there's nothing to commemorate from this World Cup for Brazil. So
No,
why?
no, no, no.
There's nothing to celebrate. You lost
Dang,
to Croatia.
it's a bit
Yeah.
embarrassing. And a tattoo is a bit embarrassing to me. Like, I don't know. It's not great. It's also like you're next to the legend, the one of the best of all time ever, and
Yeah.
then the current best in your country,
Yeah.
and then you in the middle of them, bigger than him, and then Pele's name above you. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, like
Oh
what's
man,
that tattoo say? It says
I don't read that.
Você
Yeah, what does it say?
fez o Brasil sorrir, Pele. You made Brazil cry. Pele, you made Brazil cry.
What's this? Where do the three of them fit into that?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were all crying. I couldn't, dude. I couldn't tell you what this man was thinking.
Ronaldo and Pele made Brazil cry for good reasons. Neymar and Richarlson making them cry for completely different reasons, getting kicked out of the World Cup too early.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's
yo,
harsh.
yeah. That's. I mean, I can understand why you wouldn't want to be a part of this messaging. He just implicated you in the craziest tattoo I've seen in a while. Yo, bro, he's acting like he's
Yikes.
he's acting like he's a historical part of the Brazilian national team.
Yeah.
You would think he was the chosen one. Anyway, yo, shout out to Richarlison for being such a nut.
Yeah, I can't say much more because obviously he plays for Tottenham, so I got my own opinions. I think I may have said it, but all right.
Yeah,
I'm happy he got his move, though. I'm happy he got a big move to a bigger club.
nah, he would have been better off at Everton. Then he could have
Yeah,
got him.
probably.
Like
At least he's
he'll
scoring.
he'll be, or I was gonna say he might be stuck in Tottenham for the rest of his life now. Put him on one of those Harry
Like
Kane
a one Harry
contracts.
Kane.
Yep. All right, man.
All right. Anything else?
Now let's wrap it up.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Well, then thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We will catch you shortly after the conclusion of the World Cup, hopefully with great news.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.